Hi, I'm Kevin with Nested Knowledge, and today I'm going to show you how to apply tags to underlying studies once you've built your hierarchy. By this point, you should have run at least one search in your nest, screened records and included at least those that you plan to tag, and built out a hierarchy of those tags that you want to apply to underlying studies. Then I can tag either from Inspector, so I can click in and use the tagging module there, or as we're going to do, from tagging sequentially. To tag sequentially, I hit tagging, and it's going to bring up the next article in the queue. I want to tag from the full text, and so if that hasn't yet been imported, I do want to make sure that I go to the full text tab and upload it. But we've already got the Bambrila et al. Study up here. To begin tagging, you want to read the underlying study. And the reason is you're going to be going through and reflecting content across study design, underlying patient characteristics, interventions, and a bunch of other information. So you want to familiarize yourself with the study and then begin in a systematic way to apply what you've already built. So to me, it generally makes sense to start by tagging for study design. We know this is a case report based on the information right here, so we can highlight that, and then we can select the tag for case report. Once I've applied this tag, it will get the tag and tag text, and then also will keep a record so that I can always click here and it will bring me back to the text that I've highlighted related to that tag for full auditability back to the underlying reference. I would then hit update and then move on to the next tag that I want to create. So if I want to tag age, I can actually grab a very similar text segment and tag it with age and apply. And then this will continue to build out the tags that I've applied to this underlying study. I could even use the same text fragment for gender, right? So we grab it and we say that this is in fact reflecting that we have a boy. I can move on and tag for interventions of interest, but I do want to show a couple of other capabilities first. And one of them is creating tags on the fly. Much like exclusion reasons, if you find a tag that you think should be in your hierarchy, you can actually create it from this page without going to the configure page. So, for instance, if I actually want to make a new tag for dehydration in my patient characteristics, I can come in and start typing dehydration. And if the option doesn't exist, then I'm going to be given the opportunity to create it. All I need to do is click on it. It will bring my tag name in. I can add a description. I do need to identify the parent. This one should live under patient characteristics. And then I hit create. That will add that tag to the hierarchy and prepare me to apply it. I simply find the text that's related to it and apply it. Another piece of information, you can use either this highlighting to annotate and get your tag text, or we also have several other options if the information is not amenable to just highlighting it. For instance, in this, we actually have some images that might be of interest. And so if I wanted to create a tag for, say, Pelkin spurs, I could create Pelkin spurs as a patient characteristic. Once I've created it, I can apply it, but this is going to be tough to highlight. So I'm actually going to switch over to area annotation or selection, which means I'll actually be able to capture a square image, and that will be attached as a selection to my tag. And I hit apply, and it'll save where I actually had that selection. So if I'm scrolling, I can always come back and see what I selected as related to my Pelkin spurs patient characteristic. Lastly, if my piece of information isn't reflected either in the text or in an image or a table, I can actually just make an annotation that I type out myself. So I can switch to cursor, which will mean that it won't automatically annotate based on my highlighting, and then I can change this out and type in the text related to my underlying tag. So I could say C figure 2, if that's my preferred approach for attaching text to my tags. The one downside of this approach is that it won't have the automatic jump to that is present for the highlighting and for the selection. I should then proceed and apply all the tags relating to every root node. So interventions in my case and outcomes of interest. And when I'm done, I hit complete to move on to the next study and proceed with tagging it as well. Once I'm finished, this progress bar will show no more studies to be tagged, and I can go and see the actual tags that I've applied in qualitative synthesis in real time. So as you guys saw, we had one study that we tagged with age, gender, dehydration, Pelkin spurs, and as a case report, and all of those are reflected in our qualitative synthesis, which will be continued to be updated as new tags are added to each underlying study. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.